I'm the definition of underdog who relates, who people rooting for cause they see themselves in my face. Go toe to toe with my bait, driven to be the great number one, treat second place like I'm in a two-man race. This is David and Goliath, view me as a fly, smaller than horizon, but there's so many rivals, my son's in a body that can take half of those bodies and make a block. I'm on top of the dead just to look a giant dead in his.
And we go. Hey guys, welcome to Mindset Body Bank. Rob here, and I've got a great guest on today. Again, we've got a trend of some of my old friends coming on, and this one, Davis Payne and I played at Michigan Tech for a couple of years before I got rousted and packed my bags and left. Davis came in my sophomore year as a freshman, and Davis is now the assistant coach with the Ottawa Senators, and he's had a sniff at the NHL as a player, and he spent a few years in LA. Davis, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me here today.
Oh, thanks for including me, Rob. It's great to reconnect. After my senior year, I turned pro, went to a few camps, was a free agent. After being drafted by Edmonton, they kind of said, well, okay, no. So I started in the East Coast League and was banging around down the East Coast League. And again, and this has been a real common theme for me in my life, is to identify people in front of me or around me that I can't screw up by just following. If I follow what successful people do, I gotta think that good things are gonna happen. And so for me, the job was real easy. Just figure out who were the successful people, the hardworking people, the people with good habits, good morals, good attitude, and just fall in line. And I looked at all my teams.
I must have missed that memo, because I was looking for the guys that were going out for a drink and a beer and staying out all night. So I don't know, Davis, as a young guy, you picked up on something that I'm looking back at going, why didn't somebody give me that memo? Either that or I chose to ignore it.
There's a balance there, right? Like, you're a young guy, and I mean, I know this for a fact. This is a scientific fact. I was a biology major by trade. And I've used this 100 times with my two girls. Like, your brain isn't connected at that age. So it's really impossible for you to say, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. You can't know what's behind the bad door or the good door. It just doesn't.
Doesn't exist.
It's impossible.
This whole frontal lobe is not connected to the rest of the brain at that point.
That's exactly right. I'm shifting out of timeline and storytelling into speaking to an audience that would be a young player, boy or girl, in that when your coach is talking the language of specific details, what a young player has to understand is the very next time that opportunity is there to execute that detail, that is what the coach is looking for. And if you want to get the coach's attention saying, here's a guy who's listening, here's a guy who's willing to execute what I'm asking, here's a guy who's willing to do what's best for the team because the coach said so, it becomes one of those things where you're paying attention, you're listening, you're willing to accept guidance, you're trusting that coach to guide you so that he can guide the team. I think that's a real important skill for a young athlete in today's game. And now when I look at it in the context of today's athlete is way more apt and way more equipped to ask, why would you want me to take this route and make that my responsibility when it makes more sense for me to do it a different way? And that's fine. We recognize that kids nowadays want that interaction. Sometimes it's not just, I need to know why. Sometimes I just need to have interaction. Yeah. And that's really, really healthy. And so we have to be skilled at understanding why they're asking why. In the National Hockey League, you carry a roster of 23 guys. 20 guys are playing every single night. 3 guys are not. And, you know, 2 of them might be forwards, which would fall under my umbrella. 1 of them might be a defenseman. Whatever it is, doesn't even matter. Yeah. But you're in charge of keeping these players game ready. And you know the drill. It's a miserable process to work after practice, to get your reps, to get the volume in, to make sure you're game ready. All the teams left the ice, they're getting ready to play, and you're out there and you're grinding. And I can promise you, it's not a whole lot of fun for the coach, too. We look at it and we sit inside our office saying, you know, yeah, we got to get it to this guy again. We've got to give it to this guy again. He needs to be ready. We're doing this so that when he does step back into the jersey, he's ready and he never comes out of the jersey. And the bottom line is, and I've been through every situation with every type of player, from high-end guys that we were sitting out that weren't playing, guys at the end of their career that weren't playing, young kids who were trying to keep themselves established at the National Hockey League level. And my message was simple. Listen, I've got 2 jobs to do. I've got to make sure you are getting the reps in to be game ready. That's on me. If I haven't put you through the work and you get into game situations and you're not physically fit, conditionally fit, skill-wise prepared for that scenario, if you're not ready for that, that's on me. I'll take that under my umbrella. So these kids now, you know, you're taking them through this. The first process, again, going back to those 2 things that me as a coach is responsible, you got to be physically ready. And we can use all the science and all the reps and all that stuff to push you. And you're going to have some kids that don't need to be pushed at all.
Yep.
I don't need to worry about him. He's, you know, Trevor Lewis, Kyle Clifford in Los Angeles, they're maintenance-free guys. You're going to tell them to do 10, they're going to do 15, 20. It doesn't matter. And guys like that there's lots of them, but there's also guys that are not like that. So physically, we got to get them ready. The next part of things that we're going to do as a coach is we're going to report back to the head guy who's in charge. How'd the session go? What was his body language like? How did he handle it mentally? What was his give and take? What was his comments before? What was his comments after? Did he, in the National League, I've always believed this, that the real pros understand there's no difference, but there's working hard and having fun. The real pros understand that you can do both at the same time.
Interesting.
Young kids think that when you're working hard and grinding and battling and really finding that edge of improvement, they don't think that that's all that fun. Yeah. Yet you get an established pro, that young kid would say, okay, now we need to, let's lighten up the drills. Let's go play some shinny or do some of that fun stuff. When you get a pro or you get a player that can tie both of those things together, your practice habits and your preparation habits are tied together in the fact that you can have fun working hard, you're going to maximize skill set and ability beyond belief. You've got to learn to have fun busting your ass. And you've done some great, like you talk about, Tough Mudders and all those kinds of things coming back off injuries. You got to learn to love it.
Oh, yeah.
And when you learn to love it, that's when real stuff happens. And so I say to the kid, I'm going to take this back to the head coach. You've got to give me the ability to fight for you. I'll fight for you to get back in the lineup. I'll say this guy's been busting his ass. He has a smile on his face. He's done more. He's done it harder. Everything I've asked him, he's done it. Now as a coach, you need to expect me to go inside that coach's office and sit down as a staff and fight for you. And I'm going to say, you know what? Robbie Palante has been busting his hump. He's not questioned one single thing. He's gotten better at this. his retrievals on pucks, his outlet passing, his conditioning, his fitness, the smile on his face, the sweat on his forehead. You need to get this guy in a game. You need to get this guy in a game.
Yeah.
Because everybody recognizes that. And so if I'm in that situation, and when I got to the National Hockey League, I knew I wasn't playing very often. And I think I might have had like one stretch where I went 22 games in a row where I had to just do that over and over and over again. And it's not easy. It is not easy.
And
This
is where you got to have a level of mental toughness to be able to push yourself through that every single day.
No question.
You don't know when it's going to end. You hope you're doing the right things on a daily basis. You hope you're meeting that criteria that you just described that a coach is looking for. And maybe at this stage, you guys are becoming a lot more interactive, it sounds like, with the players to make them aware of what you're looking for. Right?
No question.
And when we were playing, and maybe even back when you were going through that stretch, there was nobody there to tell you that. You had to figure it out on your own.
Oh yeah. I'd come in after a pregame skate, and the assistant coach would just look at me and go, there's no yes, no, hey, yeah, this.
Why, what? Yeah, there was
no back out there, time to go do some more work.
You remember what it was like in college. I remember coming, after our Friday morning skate, everybody rushes to see whose name is on the list.
Oh yeah.
100 guys on the ice in college. So, and for somebody like me that was in and out, I was like, God, please just let me have done all the right things this week to see my name on the list.
Right.
It wasn't. Then you walk away and you're deflated and you go, why? What didn't I do? Last week I was in the lineup. I thought I did all the same things that I did last week this week. Now I'm not.
No.
Couldn't go. Hey, Herbie, how come I'm not in the lineup?
Yeah, and you know what? You better be prepared for an answer you might not like.
Well, yeah. I got that a few times too.
Yeah, I mean that's the honesty that I like to enter all my conversations with players about is I'll tell you what you need to hear.
Thank you so much, brother. Love you, man, and I appreciate you coming on. I wish you all the best in Ottawa. God bless you and your wife and your family, your girls. I hope we can do some more of this. And I appreciate you spending some time and sharing, spinning some wisdom for the young athletes that might be listening here.
Anytime, Bomba. Anytime.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Hey, see ya.
So even if I die for centuries through history, I'm alive. I'm always a winner. Even if I fall, I can still get bigger. The definition of a champion. Definition of a champion. Everyone's a winner. If you fall, get up, you can still get bigger. The definition of a champion. Definition of a champion.